Meditation on MahaSaraswati, that is the last goddess. And today we will be continuing with chapter 6 and 7, but just a small recap of what happened yesterday, that is chapter 5. You will find that the gods have lauded, all the gods have praised the goddess because she was able to kill Mahishasur. And later on, the two other demons, that is Shumba and Nishumba, they have taken charge of all the three worlds, which means they are now in control of all the gods, the goddess, everything. And when they are in control, they have taken the Airavat, the trees, the plants, everything, rather whatever is there, they have taken. So it so happens that when these gods were lauding, the Parvati goes for a bath. When she is going for the bath, she asks this question, whom are you all saying the praises to? She asked the gods. And they say, we are saying these praises to this goddess, Durga. And from her body, different kinds of forms emanate. And this is where we had seen different forms emanating from her, different power potencies that are coming into the picture, so on and so forth. And then they send these two demons who are there, who have taken charge of this world. They have to be killed. So these gods had gone to praise her, Durga. Now it so happens that she is very pretty, very beautiful. She is one of the greatest goddesses of all time. She's got the beauty and everything from different gods, everywhere. So all that qualities are there within her. And because of the qualities that she has got, these people, Chanda Munda, they go and they see what exactly, how they are. So, Shumba Nishumba, they are listening to his words. They are saying, this is a beautiful goddess. We have to capture her, we have to bring her, because our kings, they are the owners of literally everything that the gods have in store of them, right? So we have to take this great goddess also under our control. So finally, when this particular demon goes over there, he says, I could have dragged you by your tresses, And here the words are, you are not supposed to say these kind of things, they say to her. And they say, we can drag you by your tresses and your dignity is lost. This is in verse 126. On my word alone, you go to the vicinity of Shumba Nishumba. There is no need for your going to them dragged by your tresses and your dignity lost. So the goddess says, yeah, what am I supposed to do? I have given myself this promise that I will only get married to the person who can defeat me in battle. So this demon has to go and tell these words back to Shumba Nishumba. So this is where we had stopped yesterday. So now let us continue with the next chapter. So we are doing Devi Mahatamyam chapter 6 from the 3rd episode. The sage said, hearing the words of the goddess thus, the messenger, full of impatience, went to the king of the Asuras and told him in detail. Then hearing those words of the messenger, the Asura monarch with anger told Dhumralochana, a chieftain of the Asuras, O Dhumralochana, surrounded by your army, you speed up and bring by force that wicked one here, unnerving her by dragging her by the hair. If anyone else stands up to give her protection, he should be slain, be it a god, a yaksha or a gandharva. Now Shumba and Nishumba get to hear this part of how beautiful she is and refusing to come to them from their demon. He's a general. So they listen to him and they definitely are very angry with it. How can somebody do this? And so they say that we have to send one of our own generals, a chieftain of the Asuras, Dhumra Lochana, smoky-eyed. Dhumra, smoky, Lochana, eyed. So smoky-eyed, Rakshasa. He is an Asura who is very, very powerful. Now when we talk of this Dhumra Lochana, it is called clouded vision. Clouded vision. When somebody challenges you, what happens to you? You lose reason, isn't it? You feel that, what does the person think of himself? They think I'm some ordinary person. And then that anger which comes in the person because of ego, it's a terrible ego within that person. How can you say this kind of words? Have you noticed today in the United Nations what is happening? All the Dhumra Lochanas are sitting over there. They are saying whatever that comes to their mind. They are acting in a very rash manner. The whole world is in a mess because of people who do not even think before they speak, or they have no idea what they are saying. They are clouded in their vision because they are very angry or upset and something has been snatched from their mouth. Here these kings, Shumba and Nishumba, they want to possess this goddess. And because they want to possess this goddess and the goddess is refusing them and she has challenged them, it is like as if you are hurting the ego. If somebody says these kind of words to you, don't you feel that you are being challenged by some female? I mean, think like that. Today's day and age, it has become very common. If you go on the internet, you will find that almost everybody is challenged nowadays. And we feel challenged. And that is the reason why this great Asura called Dhumra Lochana has been told to go and sort out the issue and drag her by her hair. And then the next line which says, anybody who is supporting her, that person you can kill. Think. So anybody who supports another, that person becomes your enemy immediately. We are today facing that problem here in India, are we not? When you buy Russian oil, Americans are affected. They say, how can you do that? There is a lot of politics in this statement. And those who are supporting, say India, they will also become enemies. It's like India buys oil from Venezuela and various other countries also, Iran. And then they become a part of this circle. So it's like a common thing. So Dhumra Lochana, somebody who gets very cheesed off because they are challenged. And so this person loses his mind and says whatever that comes to the mind and is willing to fight it out. Our life is full of these stories. Your parents may say some words to you. You may get upset because of that. Your wife may say, your husband may say, your children may say tomorrow. And because of which you may feel very upset. How can you talk like this? Do you know who I am? I am the greatest. The ego comes. So Dhumra Lochana is there. We get clouded in our vision because we cannot see how things are. We are unable to see the future. Our eyes get affected. We don't understand the truth. Physical eyes is one thing. Here it is mental eyes also. Mentally we get affected. We can't see good in anything in this world. Then ordered by him quickly, the Asura Dhumra Lochana marched past, surrounded by 60,000 Asuras. On seeing the goddess seated on the snowy mountain, he shouted, "Set out to the presence of Shumba and Nishumba. If you do not go to my master now with love, I shall take you by force, unnerving you by dragging you by the hair." My God. Look at the guts of this Rakshasa saying these words, the Asura. So anybody who is in this position feels very upset. The words that come from their mouth cannot be understood. They say whatever that comes to their mouth. Imagine these words are being said to the goddess. If you do not go to my master now with love, I shall take you by force, unnerving you by dragging you by the hair. Most important thing, as much as anger you may have against common people, but against a god or a goddess, you are not supposed to say these words. Human beings have this habit. Tukaram's wife is there, Avli. Now, she doesn't have money. God doesn't give her money. Her son is very, very sick. She doesn't know whom to turn to. Her husband, Tukaram, is lost in devotion to the gods. So she gets very upset. And she says, I will take these slippers of mine, these chappals of mine, and I will go and I will break the feet of Panduranga. Avli says these words. So she takes a footwear in her hand so that she can go and smash the feet of Panduranga, the idol over there. But before she could go, the goddess comes to her. Panduranga's wife, Rukmini, she comes to her and says, Rukmai, she says, don't worry, your son is fine. And the son gets cured immediately. Then she forgets her anger. I have said these kind of words. See, think on these lines. We say words from our mouth which we may not even mean. But anger, ego, arrogance, these kind of things, when somebody challenges you, when that challenge itself turns you into a person who can speak whatever they feel like. This is something we need to avoid. So now let us see what the goddess says. The goddess said, you are sent here by the Lord of the Asuras. You are strong and surrounded by the army. If you thus take me by force, what can I do to you? The goddess sounds helpless, you see. Understand one thing, the goddess is not helpless. She is the power potency, remember that. She is Durga herself. Why will she feel so small? But she is deliberately trying out his patience. The sage said, spoken to thus, the Asura Dhumra Lochana rushed towards her. The mother reduced him to ashes by a mere grunt. Like that. That is a humkara. Like that. That is called a humkara. I mean, she just has to do that and that fellow is reduced to ashes. Then the great army of the Asuras, enraged, showered on the mother sharp arrows, lances and hatchets. Then the lion, the mount of the goddess, shook its mane in anger, made a terrible noise and fell on the army of Asuras. So here you can actually visualize how the goddess is like that she will do, and her, the one who carries her, the lion. Remember, Mahishasura Mardini. She is the one who sits on top of the lion. She's the one who kills the Mahishasur. So this lion, he shakes his mane like this and he goes after these remaining asuras and he kills them all. Some asuras with the blow of his paw, others with his mouth, and some others with the stampede of its hind legs. It slaughtered everybody. The lion tore with its claws the bellies of some asura, and striking with the paw, it severed their heads. It cut asunder the arms and the heads of others, and shaking its mane, it drank the blood from the bellies of some other. In a moment, the entire army was destroyed by the enraged lion, the noble vehicle of the goddess. Now here you will find that the lion which we are talking about is also a very powerful weapon. I was telling you yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, that the Sudarshan or the Shankh, Chakra, whatever the weapons that we are talking about, or the instruments that are there, even the flute of Sri Krishna, that itself is a power potency. So why not the lion? Why not the peacock? Right? Peacock is a vehicle of Kartik Swami. Why not Garuda? Have you not heard of Garuda's fight? So all these are very terrible weapons by themselves. They are capable of killing. They are capable of destruction. So we need to give them that kind of a, we should always respect. 2 days later, we are going to celebrate a very important day. Okay? We call it Ayudh Puja. Ayudh Puja is a very great occasion just before Dashara, where we keep all our instruments. Suppose you are a cook, you will keep all your cutlery and vessels and everything. Suppose you have a car, you are going to take that car, which is your vehicle, isn't it? Right? You are going to use implements. Suppose you are a writer, you will keep your pen and your book and your computer and your phones, and all these are called equipments. They are a part of your entire circle. They become you, isn't it? Your phone is with you only, constantly. Like my glasses, they are with me constantly. Can I say they are not a part of me? They have become a part of me. Right? In a similar fashion, there are these things which we are going to pray to. People will wonder, why should I put one tika, a red vermilion dot or chandan dot on the computer? Why? It is going to spoil it. No, who told you that? That is your weapon. We pray to the weapon. Those who are office goers, those are factory workers. In factories, there are Ayudh Puja happening. The machines. You see, in a factory, there are machines. There are computers. There are, robots. All those things that are there. They help in earning money and having a livelihood. So our duty is to pray to them and say, please help us in our world for becoming a better human being. So that is your weapon. The pen. For a writer, the pen and the paper, or the computer, that is his weapon. Got it? So on Ayudh Puja day, you should also do this kind of a puja in your house. Give respect to these things. Whatever instruments, whatever tools that are there, please pay respect to them. We see God in everything, correct? We see God in all the objects around us. So we see God even in the vehicles that we have. The vehicle has its own life. Please remember this. You may say, oh, it's not a sentient being. Who's told you that? You may think it is not a sentient being. The word sentient, oh, it's got life in it. Well, you don't know the word sentient then. It is a misnomer. I will give you an example. Do you remember the pestle which was responsible for killing Sri Krishna? You remember that? The pestle was used to play hide and seek, and children were playing. His own son was playing Samba. And when these great masters, when they were passing, they asked him, "Can you tell where Sri Krishna is?" What did he say? "I am a pregnant lady, don't tell me all these things, I don't know." So the child got cursed. Whatever is in your stomach will be responsible for the death of Sri Krishna. My God, your entire race. Think on those lines. A small piece of that pestle became an arrow of Mara. Mara is that person, who shot the arrow. That became just a weapon of Mara. And it went and hit the toe of Sri Krishna. And Sri Krishna bled from there and passed away. I'm sure you know the story. So how can you say that that object is not sentient? Do you understand what I'm saying? It is that exact object which was responsible for the death. In a similar fashion, today when we see the Shroud of Turin, people believe it is a shroud that was put on Jesus Christ. Isn't that what we believe? Even the cross on which he was put on, or the place that he was buried. These are holy places. People go to the Samadhi Mandir of great sages and saints. There is nothing over there. There is only mud down there. But do we not pray to that? Like we pray to the memory of somebody. So we have to give respect to every object in this world. We should be respectful. It could be a vehicle, it could be anything. And that is the reason why when the lion goes and kills, it is taking care of the goddess. I can handle this. I am capable. The goddess need not bother about it. I can destroy all these others. That's what he does. Hearing that the Asura, Dhumralochana, was slain by the goddess and the entire army was destroyed by the lion of the goddess, Shumba, the lord of the Asuras, became furious. With his lips quivering, he ordered the great Asura, Chanda and Munda. "O Chanda, O Munda, you two go there accompanied by a huge army and bring her here easily by dragging by the hair or binding her. If you have doubts about doing this, then strike her in battle with all the weapons and all the Asuras. When she is struck and the lion felled, capture the Ambika, bind her and come with her quickly." So when Shumba Nishumba hear about this, the death of Dhumralochana and the entire army getting wiped out, they tell their generals, Chanda and Munda, "Please go over there and defeat her, drag her by the hair or kill her if need be, fight her in a battle and get her over here." 7th chapter, the sage said, then receiving the command, the Asuras headed by Chanda and Munda, fully equipped with arms, marched with the full fourfold complement of the armies. They saw the goddess on the lofty golden peak of the Himalayas, sitting on the lion, smiling. Seeing her, they got excited and made efforts to capture her. Some went near her with swords drawn and bows bent in readiness. Thereupon the mother became exceedingly angry towards those foes, and her face then became dark as ink with anger. From the plane of her forehead, furrowed with knitted eyebrows, immediately emerged forth Kali in the terrible face, having the sword and the noose. She held the strange skull-topped staff, a garland of human skeletons, her ornaments. Wearing for her garment a tiger skin, she looked terrible in the body, all skin and bone. A wide gaping mouth and a lolling tongue, striking fear with sunken eyes, all red. She filled the quarters with her roar. She fell on the army of the great Asura, fast slaughtering them, and she devoured the army of the foes of the gods. Now here, when Chanda and Minda approach her and they call out to her, she is sitting on top of the mountain. Just by her visage, from her own face, a form emerges. Now, Kali, the great form which we so much worship in this world, we worship Kali as our goddess, our mother for this Kali Yuga, isn't it? The Kali emerges from the face of Durga, and she is very fierce. And the way she is dressed and the way she is, in a very great fashion that she has come out. Furrowed with knitted eyebrows, immediately emerging forth Kali of the terrible face, having the sword and the nose. If you see Kalima, she's got a very fierce form. It's very difficult to face her. There are, by the way, multiple Kali avatars, okay? It's not that she is fierce all the time. She is mild-mannered also. She's a great goddess. She's a mother. And many a time she is a very benevolent goddess. So don't be under the impression that she's always angry. No, it's not that she's always angry. But her anger is visible from her demeanor. The way you look at her, she will look like that, as if she is angry. But it is not like that. So she fell on the great Asuras, fast slaughtering them, and she devoured the army of the foes of the gods. With one hand she put into her mouth the elephant, along with the guards on both sides, the drivers with their spikes, the warrior riders and the hanging bells. Likewise putting into her mouth the cavalry of the horses and the chariots with the charioteers. She chewed them most frightfully with her teeth. Sounds very grotesque, isn't it? Just imagine, chomp, chomp, chomp. Okay, so yeah, Kali is doing all this to all these demons who are there. She caught one by the hair, the other by the neck. She assaulted one with her foot and crushed the other by hugging to her chest. She caught in her mouth the arrows and the great missiles hurled by these Asuras and gnashed them in fury with her teeth. She pounded the entire army of the mighty wicked Asuras, devoured some and beat others. Some were struck by the swords, some were beaten by the staff with skull tops, other Asuras perished lacerated by the edge of her teeth. The teeth, these are very powerful weapons. We are going to learn about her teeth very soon. What does it mean? See, the avatar Kali is meant for this yuga. Okay? Kali is full of anger. She's always full of, her face is full of frowns, She's always ready to destroy evil. She is the one who destroys evil. Kal and Kali. Kal is time. You see, she raises her head in time and destroys everything that is there which is meaningless, which is not worth, which is destroying this whole thing. There is many years ago I had given an idea that the rise of Kali is going to happen in this world. This whole world is going down under because of the pressures of all these Rakshasas in the world. They are putting down the women. You see, isn't that what they are doing? They are putting down the women over there, that is Durga herself, and they are all the goddesses. She was also named as Ambika, if you remember the last chapter, the last verse, where Chanda and Munda are told, get Ambika over here. These are all different names. We cannot take them for granted. When there are lots of atrocities happening in this world, when the world is being put down, when all the women folks in the world are being put down under, they are someday going to rise. And that someday is in the near future. All those people, those who think that they can take charge of this world and subdue this kind of forces, they are thinking that they can drag the women by their hair and do whatever they feel like. No, it's not going to be the case at all. Because Kali will rise, Durga will rise, they will bring out this power within them. But that trigger has to happen. It is going to take time. It's not going to happen day one now. It is still, there is some time left for it to happen. But till that time, all the atrocities are going to keep on continuing. People will not even understand whether what is right and what is wrong. They are being railroaded into doing things. Okay? So please understand how Kali works. Seeing that entire army of the Asuras was in the moment laid to the ground, Chanda ran towards the terrible Kali. The great Asura with terrific showers of arrows and Munda with discus hurled 1,000 covered her of terrific faces. Those innumerable discuses entered the mouth shone like so many orbs of the sun entering in the midst of a cloud. The Kali of terrible face laughed fiercely in wrath, making a frightful noise, her gleaming teeth dazzling the eyes. Mounting on the great lion, the Devi rushed at Chanda, catching him by the hair. She severed the head with the sword. Seeing Chanda fallen, Munda rushed at her. She felled him to the ground, striking him with the sword in her wrath. Seeing Chanda and the great warrior Munda vanquished, the remaining army left unslain, stricken with terror, fled in every direction. The way in which Kali goes about doing her job, it sounds so simple and easy, isn't it? Just catches hold of the tresses of the same demon who has come to say, I am going to drag you by the tresses. She just chops his head off, chuck, like that, and holds it in her hand. If you ever look at the Kali's image in any of these temples or places, even on the internet, if you go and search for Kali's image, you will find that she has one head, which she is holding in one hand of hers, and she has both those bones and skulls are there round her body. She wears, the skin of a tiger, and she's got terrible eyes in the way she is carrying her weapons around. So Chanda Munda are getting killed like this over here. Okay, this explanation will be given to you by Rajma. Okay, I will leave it to her for giving you the explanation. Then Kali, bearing the heads of Chanda and Munda, went up to Chandika and said laughingly all the while, frightfully loudly. Now here there is an introduction of another name, Chandika. Chandika is another name for Durga herself. And that is the reason why Devi Mahatamyam is also called Chandi Path. Chandi Path is part. Part means the way we say it, we do. And those who by heart it, this is Pathantar we say, by hearting it. So you can do that also. This is a very beautiful lesson where Chandi herself comes in the form, Durga herself comes in the form of Chandika. That is how these two demons, the Chanda, Munda getting killed, that goddess Kali is also called Chandika. Got the answer? So she's carrying the heads of both this and Chandika to Chandika and said, laughing all the while frightfully loudly, in the sacrifice of battle I have brought to you these two victims, Chanda and Munda. You yourself will slay Shumba and Nishumba. The sage said. Then seeing the great Asura Chanda and Munda brought to her, the auspicious Chandika spoke nice words to Kali. As you have come to me bringing Chanda and Munda, you will henceforth become famous in the world as goddess Chamunda. So this particular form, which has killed Chanda and Munda, nothing but the form of Chandika only, but as I said, she becomes a Kali and she goes over there. So she gets a name, Chamunda. Got it? So Chamundeshwari is her name. Here ends the 7th of the Devi Mahatmyam in the Markandeya Puran during the period of Savarani the Manu. So we have come to the end of chapter 7 and I will stop my explanation here, and Rajma will continue with the explanation now.
Thank you, Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. Guruji to all, wishing you all a very happy Navratri. You very beautifully explained Dhumra Lochana, one of the very important demons in our life, because we always are clouded, we have clouded vision. We speak without knowledge. See, we are doing which episode today? We are doing third episode, chapters 6 and 7. Third episode is about meditation on Mahasaraswati. This is the path of knowledge, the real knowledge or the true knowledge. The reason why you behave in a way you have been behaving all along these while in your life is because you have been influenced by what you see, what you hear, what what people tell you, or what your mind tells you. You have never ever gone to the depth of the subject to understand what is the truth. Is it real or unreal? You have never questioned anything. Your mind told you something and you took it for granted. Somebody told you something, you took it for granted. You started believing in all the nonsensical things that was given to you, right from your education. What was taught in the school, you never questioned. You have just been programmed like a machine. You've never used your intelligence. God-given divine intellect was never even used. The intelligence which is there in you is never even tapped. So these demons represent the power of knowledge in our life. And see, it all begins from, where does it all begin? Surata and Samadhi have gone to Markandeya Muni. We say no, it all began from they visiting the hermitage. And they see subservient with humility and humbleness, they are asking the right question. It is the Guru is the doorway to God. Guru is the knowledge. It is when you go with a subservient mind and seek the grace of this divine Lord Almighty, who has with his benevolence manifested in this world with a rare opportunity. The Guru has come in our life to remove the ignorance of the darkness of Kali Yuga, or the ignorance that we have, with a sword of knowledge, and that is why knowledge is called light. The knowledge gets illuminated as you get purified within. A small story here. When Hiranyaksha is killed and Hiranyakashipu gets very angry, without any reason, his Guru Shukracharya tells him, you have to get the boon of, go to Brahma and get a boon. The only way you will be able to defeat Vishnu is with the superiority of the power. But what he doesn't understand is that, see, all this is programmed, but that demon within us has to be destroyed. You don't have to become superior by ego or trying to show somebody something. First is you have to gain knowledge. Why today women are treated like this? Is simply because they don't have knowledge. The right knowledge is very important. A woman thinks she's been condemned, she's being, talked about just because she's a woman. No, you have allowed people to think like that about you. It is how you give yourself that respect. How do you behave? How do you conduct yourself matters. That is how the world will look at you. Guruji used something. The world looks at Kali in the way, she shows herself. The other way around. She reflects what you want to reflect in her. So if you conduct yourself in the way where you have all the good qualities, the world will look at you as a divinity. They will not look at you as some demon or anything. How do you behave, or how do you, look upon yourself matters the most. And that comes with first gaining knowledge, not frivolities. Not by trying to, try to prove yourself. Oh, I am greater than man. Oh, I'll go drink more. I will go smoke more. I will have hundreds of boyfriends. You're actually reducing your worth. You're not becoming a goddess. You're becoming a demon incarnate. So Kali is a very divine being. She is full of knowledge. So please understand, we are doing the third episode. Meditation on Mahasaraswati. Vidya is the most important thing. And Vidya, this divine, the truth about who you are is only given by the Guru. So this Guru we need. So coming back to the story, when Hiranyakashyap says, now I want to go and do tapascharya. I want to get this boon from Brahmadev. And that time, his wife, Kayadu, is conceived. And she tells, don't go behind these false things. I need you. But he doesn't listen. He wants to become somebody who is going to attain immortality and kill Vishnu, his enemy. That's what he believes. Vishnu is the enemy because he killed his brother. Now at that time, see, understand, gods and demons both have this issue. You know what is the issue? They cannot kill the enemies which is in their heart. The 6 enemies of humankind. At that time, his wife is Kayadu, who's carrying, she's conceived. And Indradev is worried about his throne. See, Indradev they are deities. They are all fallible. And you know what he's worried about? He's worried about his throne getting into trouble. So he tries to harm Kayadu. And he takes her at that time when the evil, the unrighteousness is quite high. How does this unrighteousness come about? Because of envy and anger. And who's angry? Indradev. And who's envious? He is envious. Because his throne will be dethroned. He's afraid of losing his position and power. So he does more wrong in this world than doing right. And then what happens? When the adharma is on the rise, then the Lord appears. And in the form of a guru, Narad Muni comes and gives the right knowledge to Indradev, saying what you're doing is wrong. And then Kayadu goes to this hermitage, that is Gurukul. There, Narad Muni is giving her the knowledge. And who's listening to it? Prahalad, who is in her womb, is listening to this knowledge. So what does it tell you? When you are going to conceive also, your thoughts have to be very good. Your innermost being, the child which is being born has to be divine child. You can be from the Asura clan or the demons, wherever you are, but your child will become Bhakta Prahalad in the way you conduct yourself, the qualities that you inculcate in him. And what is the mantra he gives? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And the child picks it up in the womb itself. And he goes about becoming the greatest devotee of Shri Krishna Bhagavan. And how does that happen? That happens because the Guru comes in right time to redeem this world. Everybody is given an opportunity to redeem themselves. The gods and the demons. See, understand, to attain divinity, you have to take a human birth. So in this world, if you see, the gods and demons both are waiting to take this human birth to attain salvation. And the Guru is there who is eagerly waiting to give everybody that redemption. But if you do not want to change, no God, even Krishna Bhagavan cannot change. In Tripura Rahasyam, Guruji has very beautifully taught. If you have the desires, if you have your mental impressions from your past lives and your, the intellect which you have, nothing can work. The 3 defects in the system he talks about. I'm not going to repeat it. You can go listen to my Guruji's satsang in Tripura Rahasyam. And there he says, even Lord Sadashiva comes and stands in front of you, cannot change you. So what is required is the true knowledge about the truth and holding on to the lotus feet of this Krishna Bhagwan. And that is the only remedy in Kali Yuga. Nothing else. Keep chanting his name. You have to purify within. Don't have, they say, half-baked knowledge is very dangerous than ignorance. So kindly don't have your half-baked knowledge and do things in life. You are going to become this demon and not the divine being. So all the powers that Kali was talking about is that knowledge which you are being given. Take the name of the Lord and cut asunder the ignorance with a sword of knowledge. And who is that Guru? Guru, who means remover of ignorance and illuminer of knowledge, the truth. So take refuge at the lotus feet of this Guru so that you can attain, you can become this divine being. Don't behave like a floozy in this world, or whatever, however others are behaving, and get carried away by what you see. That is Lord's Maya. There are only handful of people can get redeemed, provided you put in that effort. The effort at the end of it is yours only. With one more last important thing. See, understand, what Prahalad says to his father. To become the god of triple world is very easy. But, Vishnu is not your real enemy. On the contrary, go inside your heart and kill the 6 enemies, which is even very difficult for even the gods to kill them. So that is what your effort has to be. Kill the Chanda and Munda, the lust and greed. And the other enemies are also going to be followed. And the Dhumra Lochana, the clouded vision. Why do we have clouded vision? Because we don't want to see or believe in the truth which is being shown to us or taught to us. We think we know too much. This I know is only your downfall and your destruction. So kindly stop this I know and start listening to the words of the Guru. The knowledge that is being imparted to you. It is a profound truth, the truth of all truths. Nobody in this entire universe can give you this knowledge. And you are privileged to be sitting here today getting this knowledge. Be very grateful and thankful and evolve. Become that Kali, become that Chandika in your life. Chamundeshwari, you know where it is? Mysore. The one who destroyed Chanda and Munda, Chamunda, the Chamundeshwari Devi is over there. So become, invoke that divinity within you and become that and destroy all this demon, the 6 enemies of humankind, and know your own greatness. Devi Mahatamyam is that. Every scripture is that. Why we have to repeat this over and over again? Because once we close this and go back, you're gone in your material world. You don't even care to open to understand what you have learned. You're lost in your material world so much. Understand, everything happens by the will of the Divine Lord. If you don't have His grace, nothing. So, I was listening to one of the very beautiful satsang my Guruji was giving from Bhagavad. You are like a dead body if you have not tasted the holy water washed off His Krishna Bhagwan's feet and Tulsi from His hand. So how many are privileged? So don't lose this opportunity and evolve. Do something worthwhile. Serve your purpose of your birth, your Swadharma perform, but with love. Not with fear, with love alone, because God is always love. Okay, with that, I end my exposition. Thank you, Krishna Ma. Jai Shri Krishna Guruji.
Okay, thank you very much.